people, stay dandy, baby. Victor's a slimy bastard, Kara is on the move, and a classic character from the Fourth Great Ninja War makes his unexpected return. That's right, my friends, the next major story arc in Kara is about to begin. I am so pumped up to see what's going to be happening next. These are the type of episodes that manga-only readers definitely need to check out because they are totally elaborating on some of the biggest hang-ups and mysteries that the manga version has been presenting. Not to mention, we get to see the introduction of a character who was thought presumably to be dead. So before we go any further, I'm gonna go ahead and put up a big old spoiler warning if you haven't watched any of these episodes, and I'm also gonna put kind of a small spoiler warning for people who do not read the manga. It's gonna be really hard to not want to talk about these parts, so I'm just gonna go ahead and warn you right now. I might talk about some stuff from the manga. Go read it and then come back to this review. That's really all I have to say. So, first and foremost, let me address the elephant in the room. I've been on break for a couple of weeks in terms of reviewing the Boruto anime series. Fact of the matter is, it's holiday season, and I have been busy as crap. Not to mention, I'm very lucky that my job outside of YouTube has kept me very busy. I'm very thankful for that, but it's kept me from watching the show and doing some formal reviews. It takes time to make these videos, guys. So, I'm really glad that I finally got the chance to sit down and review a couple of these episodes, and I'm going to be talking about 3, but really I'm more going to be talking about 2 episodes. The first of these episodes is actually dedicated to the character of Inojin, the daughter of Ino and Sai, and it's basically just an entire episode devoted to him and going into what his abilities are and what he sort of takes from both his mother and his father. And what's always been very clear is that Inojin is definitely more Sai than he is Ino. However, this episode is actually pretty important and directly ties into everything that's going on with Kara. Now that the village knows that they're a threat, they have to up their games in terms of their actual security, and Ino's actually going to be a big part of this, creating this brand new system which is going to allow them to detect pretty much everyone in the village, and Inojin is basically going to be a part of this program and learning how to make it work. He even works directly with one of his cousins, a brand new character who surprisingly he's never met before. I don't know how family reunions work in Konoha Village, but apparently not everybody's tight and everybody loses touch all the time. It's just kind of a busy place, that's just the way it is. But basically the entire episode is just establishing that Konoha Village is getting serious about its security, and that's definitely going to be a big thing going into the future of the series. So let's talk about the next couple of episodes, which are very Kara heavy, which is something that I've really been waiting to see. So the first major episode is essentially all about Konoha Village recognizing the Great Fourth Ninja War, and this also will directly tie into some of the other events and characters that are actually going to be coming in now, which I think is really great. It's a great way to sort of tie everything together, but essentially it's Naruto and all of his friends basically having a big memorial for those who were lost during that Great War. And again, it was one of those episodes that just reminded me of how intense that overall battle was, and also bringing Shikamaru and Ino to the forefront yet again, as they finally get to come to terms with the deaths of their fathers, who were basically obliterated by the Ten Tails during the Fourth Great Ninja War. And what's also really great about this is that we actually get to learn that during that big cataclysmic event, there was a survivor, and it's none other than Ao from the Hidden Mist, the right-hand man of Mei, the Mizukage. Now this is a big deal, as he was presumed dead for a very, very long time, but suddenly he has emerged, he is here, and he even has some brand new cybernetic implants on his leg, his arm, his face, and they've all been done by Professor Katasuke, which I also think is kind of remarkable. And he actually returns to Konoha Village to basically get a tune-up, but he's also there to sort of pay respects to the friends and allies that he lost during this war, and he has a really great interaction with Shikamaru and Ino, where essentially he reassures them that while they might not have believed that their plan would have been instrumental in taking down the Ten Tails, what they did was they instilled a lot of confidence in all of them as well as their comrades, and also in their final moments learning how proud they truly were of their children. It was a really great moment, I have to say, and it may have been dragged out just a little too long, but for Ao to show up and have this great interaction with these characters, someone who was there with Shikamaru and Ino's fathers during their last moments was surprisingly powerful. It allowed them to finally come to terms with that moment, and it actually gave a little bit of finality to all of it. Who would have thought that years later we would get a moment like this, but it's definitely something that worked. For people who've been following Naruto for a long time and continuing to follow it into the brand new Boruto spinoff, this is going to be a moment that I think you old school fans are truly going to appreciate. But there's something else going on with Ao here. It's a little strange, considering that the episode ends with him in front of some massive tree and catching a leaf between his metallic fingers, and he seems to do it in an almost menacing-like fashion. The fact of the matter is, manga fans know what's going on here, and it's a pretty big development for his character, and let's just say, this isn't the end of Ao. But let's get to the most recent episode of the series, which is by far the most Kara-heavy episode yet, featuring multiple members and even diving a little bit more into what their crazy, convoluted plans are actually going to be. We get to see a number of members in this episode, not only getting to see the return of Victor, who continues to have his very own plans to take control of the organization because he is basically on his deathbed, knowing that if they don't go through with their plan in a very short amount of time, that basically he is going to die. And he seeks the wisdom and the knowledge of a character who goes by the name of Amado, who essentially is the scientist, the chief scientist of Kara, who's sort of responsible for creating all their weapons and taking care of all of their members. Pay attention, this guy is going to end up being pretty freaking important, and Victor is basically here to spy on them and learn a little bit more about their secret vessel, which is getting ready to be transported somewhere else. And Victor comes up with this crazy plan where he's actually going to take advantage of this by taking this vessel for himself and using it as a way of getting their plan to go forward even quicker so that he can supposedly heal his already destroyed body. But while all of this is going on, they also managed to rapidly introduce a few other characters. We've already seen a couple of them a few short times, but we get a better shot of their leader Jigen in this episode, who basically does nothing but stand around and look really awesome, but that's kind of the point of his character. They're trying to keep him very mysterious. Again, keep your eyes on this guy. He's kind of a big deal. But I love that they introduced the lone female member of the group who goes by the name of Delta, who this episode makes very clear that she's been experimented on by Amado, and she's had all sorts of like crazy enhancements done to her body to make her really powerful. She has a really striking and popping design with her weird pink eyes, which have these hash marks all over them, her giant flowing freaking like yellow hair. She has a distinctive character design, and it's always great to see a female villain, as there really aren't that many of them in the Naruto franchise. So I can't wait to see more of her in action. And again, these are all moments that did not exist in the manga version. They're doing a great job of building these characters up and preparing them for the next major part of the story. But like I said, Victor is a huge part of this storyline, as he's offering his services to transport this mysterious vessel, which is some sort of thing in a giant black box. Again, manga fans, you know exactly what this is, and you know, if you can just watch the intro of the show, you can probably guess what's actually inside of that box. The point is, Victor is deciding he's going to offer up his massive airship in order to transport it, and it's all a part of some crazy convoluted plan, which of course ends up going completely wrong. See, Victor's plan is actually kind of cool. It's not just an interesting looking flying blimp, it actually has this technology which allows it to basically go invisible and you can't see where it is and where it's flying, and it just so happens to fly over Konoha Village and they don't even notice it. So it's pretty crazy technology, but it does end up crashing outside of the outskirts of Konoha Village, which of course is going to get the attention of someone eventually. Victor starts shitting his pants, and rightfully so, as it's only a matter of time before all of these things are eventually connected to him, but there's obviously another party at work here, which I think is actually working against Victor, and getting to see that unfold within Kara I think is going to be very interesting. Other than that, we also get some other big moments in the promise of the eventual sparring match between Boruto and his father Naruto, which is something that he really wants to see. They get a big commendation from him and everybody in their big successful mission against Deepa and Victor's company, so I'm really glad that they again elaborated just a little bit more on that. Not to mention, Boruto has officially carefully removed the bandages from his hand, but still paying attention to that very important mark on his palm and reminded of how it was given to him by Momoshiki. Again, they're doing a great job of building up these elements which were not necessarily seen in the manga version and managing to connect them a little bit more to everything that's going on here. It's kind of like the character of Mugino. He seems kind of like just a random character they created for the last arc, but you're actually going to get more from his character in some of the coming episodes, and again, it adds a lot more weight to his appearances on what's going to be happening much later in this arc and everything with Kara. The fact of the matter is, things are really finally starting to move fast when it comes to Kara, and I cannot wait to see more of it. And if they continue to elaborate a little bit more on some of the stuff we didn't see in the manga version, this could very well be one of the most interesting arcs of the entire series. So, what's the rundown on all of these episodes? So, Inojin episode. It's okay. I can take it or leave it. It's wholly inoffensive, but to me personally, it was kind of an average episode. I still think it's an episode that's worth at least seeing once, so I'm gonna drop a 3 out of 5 on it, just kind of average. The next 2 episodes I thought were really great for totally different reasons. The one with Ao and his big reappearance I thought was really important because, again, this is stuff that we never saw in the manga version, and in the manga, he just sort of randomly appears. He's just kind of like, hey, there's Ao, how's it going, man? Whoa, you're a cyborg now. No, here they do a good job of bringing him back and establishing his final moments during that war and what truly happened to him. It was really elaborated on in the best way possible, and to incorporate Shikamaru and Ino into that event, I thought was really great and powerful. I really loved it, and I love the build up to the return of his character because it will be very important later on. But it's that Kara episode that really managed to surprise me. It wasn't until about halfway through the episode that I'm like, whoa, we haven't spent any time with any of the main characters from Konoha Village. They're really trying to build up this Kara group, and they're doing it in a great way with all of these brand new members. And it's great to finally see them with voices and in color for the very first time. As someone who reads the manga every single month, it's always exciting when we get new moments with Kara, and to get to spend like an extended amount of time with him in the anime honestly feels like some sort of early Christmas present. I truly loved it, and I still love their designs. I think they're unique and interesting, and they're a villain group that has a completely different feel to them, and a lot of that is owed to the fact that they rely on technology a lot, and I have to say the music. This is a weird thing to talk about, and something that I don't think enough people even talk about is the musical score of the series. Throughout Boruto and even throughout the original Naruto and Shippuden, it's gone through a massive evolution, and Kara has like their very own distinctive theme, and thank God it's not like Akatsuki's. I was afraid that they were going to try and make them feel that way, but again, they're still leaning more towards that weird sort of like cyber technological vibe with them. And did anybody else get Nier Automata vibes when you actually heard the music of Kara in these episodes? I thought they were really great. We also get to see what the bulk of their army is going to consist of, which are basically robotic ninja puppets. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome to see. I can't wait to see more of that. Really, I loved all of these episodes in just very different ways. Again, the Inojin one was, it was okay, but everything else here with Ao and Kara, I thought was really freaking solid. I love talking about this stuff, but the main reason I make these videos is to hear from you guys. I would love to get your thoughts about the latest couple of episodes of the Boruto Naruto Next Generations anime series. There's some big stuff that's finally getting ready to go on. I've been waiting, it seems like years, to finally see this part of the story finally start to get animated, and the way that they're making it better than the manga in some ways, yes, I'm saying better, is really impressive. But you might disagree. You might not like all of the brand new things that are going on in the Boruto storyline. And if you're only watching the anime version, I'd really love to get your thoughts about what's truly going on in this series, your true, honest thoughts about what's happening in the story and what you hope to see from the future of the Kara arc in Boruto Naruto Next Generations. So there it is, my friends. Like I said, make sure to sound off in the comment section below. If you liked today's video, I highly implore you to give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. It ensures that more people can see my content. And of course, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Check out some of the other things that I am currently working on. I also want to take this time to thank all of my patrons for making monthly donations through my Patreon page. You guys are freaking incredible. Thank you so much for all of that. Remember, first-time donators, I'll review an anime series of your choice. I got one more big Patreon review, which is going to be coming out before the end of the year, so please make sure and stay tuned for that. And all patrons will be listed right here. You guys are effectively the producers of Ace Guru. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.